whatever sector in life, it doesn't align with who you are and your core values, it's going to cause friction. So you then choose your values and then trying to go to the Japanese ikigai. So then I asked myself the question, if I won the lottery tomorrow, what would I do? Welcome to the Zest Method channel. I'm Amelia, an ex-army doctor and founder of a preventative medicine coaching business called, you guessed it, the Zest Method. I have an insatiable curiosity about the subconscious mind and self-betterment, and so I'm hoping to, through this medium, share what I learn and hopefully help humans feel better, not perfect. Episode 15. Learn to become a quitter. Not what normal people say, I guess. Not what you normally hear on the grapevine. And I find quitting does have these negative connotations and associated with failure. But it's something I've become very good at. And I find that although I myself say it a lot, and generally people go by the mantra of life so short, just live it to the fullest, it actually can be really quite a long time too. And so when you're doing your day job of 40 plus hours a week, do you actually enjoy it? And if it's one of those things you're neutral about, maybe just stick at it. But I just find that there's so many people I come across, and maybe doctors as well, maybe I'm just sort of in a biased kind of area, industry, that it can be really quite stressful and wearing when it really doesn't align with who you are anymore, because people change. And so a really, really good exercise I like to go through with friends or just generally people who ask me about it, because they're like, are you brave enough to jump, or you have quite a sort of portfolio career, or you've changed a lot, then my answer always comes down to this sort of almost one question, which is, if you won the lottery tomorrow and you really didn't enough money, really 180 million, that you really didn't have to work again, but you had to get up, you had to find a reason to get up each morning and fulfill that purpose, what would you do? And it's a really great question, because some people completely light up and like, well, I'll be doing this and this and this, and other people are like, oh, actually, I don't know. And it's sometimes quite a good mental exercise to yourself, because if you really aren't happy where you are, then just play the game. That really allow yourself to think big, that there's no ceiling here. If you won the lottery, you could really do anything. And it's a question I asked myself when I went travelling, because leading up to that, I had many, many career hops, and they were all fueled by the wrong values or the wrong incentive, normally for a salary increase. And of course, as we know, money buys, it doesn't buy happiness, it buys security, but not necessarily happiness. And it got to the stage where tried the army, didn't like to be told what to do, so then stick with medicine, and I found the NHS is obviously the NHS is a wonderful, wonderful establishment, but it's reactive rather than proactive, and because my passion lies in proactive health and preventative health, hence the coaching business has come from it, that it doesn't really align with how I wanted to conduct medicine. So then I was trying to think, what do I go into next? And someone said, well, Amelia, you have the aesthetics for aesthetics. You should go into aesthetics. So then I launched an aesthetics clinic, thinking, well, I know that could be 9 to 5 and a lot of money, so let's go into that. And of course, wasn't fulfilling at all. So constantly sort of jumping ship. Then thought, well, finance, again, that could earn a lot of money, and it's a real passion of mine. Love to invest on the side. So went into that, got into one of the big firms, and then thought, well, I'll take a sabbatical before I get chained to the desk in the city and Canary Wharf, and go travelling. And I went travelling for 6 months, and I really wish I'd done it sooner, because when you go on the sort of gap year experience, it's so eye-opening, and you meet all sorts of weird and wonderful people. And I love to ask what they did, because the number of jobs or job titles I came up with, I really hadn't been introduced at school, never heard of them. And so then I asked myself the question, if I won the lottery tomorrow, what would I do? And it basically wasn't the job I was about to go into. So I was like, okay, right. So you've yet again made a jump into another profession without really thinking it through. Because any time you embark on any whatever sector in life, it doesn't align with who you are and your core values, it's going to cause friction. You're going to distance yourself from your authentic self or true north, and eventually you're either going to burn out or change careers anyway. So you then choose your values and then go to the Japanese ikigai, where you're able to compare what you're passionate about, what helps the world, what helps people, and also what pays. And in the middle, through this sort of Venn diagram, you can start having an idea of perhaps what you'd like to do. And I would argue, be bold. The grass is actually greener. And also perhaps even if it isn't, see a mistake as an asset and take a lesson from it. There's something called the sunk cost fallacy, which I fell royally into. Sunk cost fallacy. So when I launched the aesthetics clinic, Blue Pear Clinic, and I launched the website, etc., and everyone said, oh my gosh, you must be so proud of yourself, it's a big deal, how do you feel? And I honestly felt empty. I felt awful, and I was sat in a dark room. I was like, why on earth do I feel so bad about this? And I essentially had just realised I'd trapped myself into a career for 10 years I really would have to dedicate my whole life to make a success of it, and it's something that I just didn't want to do. And so my father, a very logical man, he basically sat me down and said, okay, just imagine a traffic light system. You've got the green light, which is the ideal, amber, neutral ground, and red, what you actually categorically do not want to do. So he went through the traffic light system, and green, I was like, I'd quit tomorrow and try something else, go travelling. Neutral ground was, okay, I'll stick with what I'm doing for a bit, I'll get an apprentice in and they can take over from me in 2-3 years' time. And red light was, well, just continue with making this aesthetics clinic a success and feel trapped. And round and round and round we went for hours, and eventually it was annoying that he had to give me permission to quit. But it was the best thing I did, because despite my ego and how much time, money, tears, effort, exams I put into attaining the highest qualification for the aesthetics clinic, it wasn't who I wanted to be. And so by quitting and almost ignoring the sunk cost fallacy and doing what I wanted to do anyway, I am in a far happier position and led me to this podcast today. So I will end this with, be bold, lean into the fear, because normally that means you're on the right path. And yes, see a mistake as an asset and learn from it. We will end it there. Short episode, but thank you very much for listening, and I'll be back soon.